PLRB presents insightful presentations, each just 15 minutes.
All right, our next presentation will be Connections Beyond the Virtual Arena, and it will be presented by Medina of Charles Taylor Engineering Technical Services. Medina is a highly skilled industry professional and recognized consultant and expert. She has extensive experience in claims processes redesign and developing claims handling departmental procedures and training. Her experience includes development of training and processes used by multiple top 10 P&C insurers and Fortune 500 companies. She is a well-known consultant and instructor with an emphasis on liability loss adjusting. Her background of experience covers a wide geographic area with both catastrophic and daily claims handling. Join me in welcoming Medina to the stage.
I work for Charles Taylor. Charles Taylor's been around since the 1800s. We provide services in different areas. So all of my years of experience in training, in loss adjusting, and now in engineering has brought me to where I am. I'm a huge supporter of PLRB. Have been involved in PLRB for a long, long time. I think they provide such a great education on different levels. CE credits aside, just the people that come and speak to you and with all of their experience that you get to draw from, I couldn't recommend a better group to be associated with. I promise I did not hear Troy's presentation. We did not collaborate on it at all. But it was such a great segue into what I'm going to talk to you about. And since I've even been at PLRB, I really understand that this is not a popular topic for some people. So I want to talk to you about getting out of the virtual world. So how many people work from home now? Almost the entire room. How many people worked from home before 2020? Still a good number. So in 2019, only 4% of our workforce worked from home. After 2020, 54%. And now I talk to companies every day that are trying to bring those people back into the office. That is not, I know people are going to shake their head over this, but just listen. So when we went virtual, like overnight, we're forced into going virtual, just like Troy said, people that were not tech savvy, it was difficult for them to understand work life now is going to be through Zoom, Teams, Google Meets, and just the equipment alone caused technical issues, problems. And then think about when you started working from home, businesses suffered because you're not going out, you're not driving to work back and forth, you're not eating lunch out. Restaurants suffered. Think about the things in your community that closed down. They had no business. Rents went up to not being affordable because everybody left those congested cities and moved where they wanted to because they didn't have to be near their work. They could move wherever they wanted to. So those things impacted our society. Now after COVID is over, people are trying to get back into the office. It's being met with adversity. Virtual meetings have made that environment for office workers to be able to connect around the world. It's also broadened the talent pool greatly. So you could only hire people in the surrounding areas to come in. And now when you're looking for someone, the talent pool is so large because they can work from anywhere. So that broadened that talent pool. It would be difficult for people to come back in the office. Some of the pros are the cost savings, the accessibility, the time and efficiency. Some people say, there are studies that say, you are more efficient than working from home because you're not spending all that time in your car, you're not driving. But really, the things that are cons, and you're not only the technical difficulties, but the distractions at home. You have kids, dogs, whatever's going on at home, that's a distraction that takes you from your work. So it's not really the great rosy picture that we paint it to be. Face-to-face meetings provide unique advantages, especially if you're in sales. But they allow for direct, personalized communication. You get to face-to-face see the person, which is crucial in networking with new clients or during meeting new people or your employees. Networking with them is crucial, which you don't get in that virtual meeting environment. The ability to observe people's facial expressions. So remember when we first started virtual meetings, everybody looked perfect, just like they were going into the office. And as time went on, I know for me, clients that looked just like they did when I met them, gradually over time, every man grew a beard, facial hair, people dressed up from the waist up, like it was a whole different world. And then now, how many times do you get on a meeting and all you see is that person's picture? They're not even really on there. So who are you talking to? That picture. So it's evolved from what it was meant to be. Okay, this pandemic hit, and now what are we going to do? How are we going to work? And to now it's the usual, the standard. We've gotten so meeting crazy. How many times do you look at your day and it's log in, meeting, meeting, meeting? So face-to-face meetings change that and make the opportunity to build strong relationships with clients, your partners, and it leads to increased trust. When you're just talking to that picture, that's really hard to understand if that person is grasping what you're saying. Face-to-face meetings and the physical presence of people all in the same room creates a sense of camaraderie, just like Troy was talking about. You get to be friendly with your coworkers. They're not just somebody on the screen, but you personally get to know that person and become friends with them. Something that you don't really achieve on that meeting that you're having for 1 hour where you're maybe just looking at their picture. So those kind of things impact it. Also, it's time to disconnect from all this visual, all the distractions. Like, how many times are you on a meeting and everybody's muted? Even when they start talking, they're muted, and you got to go, hey, unmute, because I guess they don't plan to engage. Also, how many times are you on a virtual meeting that you're actually looking at your email and you're like, and then they call on you and you're not engaged in that meeting? Those are things in person that you can't do. You can't mute yourself constantly in an in-person meeting, but you're present. You're present in what they're talking about. You're not just that picture up there. So you need to remove the mute button. And they've also proven that remote employees come up, you're having a meeting, they'll come up with 10 ideas, 10 solutions to things. But they've proven that if you're in person, you come up with 13 to 15 new ideas. You come up with more collaborative ideas. So even when Troy was talking about the millennials and how they think, millennials think collaborative. Like when you and I want to buy a new car, we research what car is the best for gas mileage, cost, all those things. The millennials, when they want to buy a car, what do? They go on social media and ask people they don't even know, okay, what's the best car to buy? And whatever the group tells them on social media, that's what they're thinking about. So if that's how they learn and operate, don't you think that in the business environment, in meetings in the business environment, don't you think that collaborating, and you don't hear that collaboration when you're in a virtual meeting. You wait till it's your time to speak. You wait till it's somebody calls on you. You're not really asking, what do people think? Some studies have been done that have related that in the virtual meeting, you're looking at the screen, you're focused on the person talking or their PowerPoint they're presenting, and you're not really thinking outside that space. So when we talk about team goals, in-person meetings create brainstorming that use visuals, not just that one PowerPoint, but you're looking at other people in the room, and other people anxiously want to contribute to what the solution for this is. How are we, this is our team. We're going in for this meeting, and we're all going to talk about how to negotiate and settle these matters. But when you're on that screen, you don't come up with those ideas. Also, it's a better employee experience. Companies, as Troy said, companies are trying to create that environment, that team environment, that culturally positive environment. You work for this company and we care about you, and this is our team. There's been a study that was done by Bain and Bain, and teams that regularly meet in person are more likely to be engaged, perform better, and have higher levels of job satisfaction than teams that don't meet in person. Also, have you ever gone to work for a new company and you're onboarded virtually? That's kind of hard to get a feel for what the company's like and who the people are when you're just virtually onboarded. They've also shown that studies have shown that virtual onboarding creates less employee retention, and that virtual meeting constantly and not getting to know the people you work with has created that less retention of those employees. And I can only imagine in the training world, I mean, it's great that we get to attend training online, but do you really get to talk to people that are in the same position you are, learning the new skill that you're learning? So studies have been done. There was a study from Stanford and Columbia that they took 1,500 engineers and they divided them in half. Half worked remotely, half did not. And they did this in different geographic locations. So what it showed, that the ones who worked in person came up with 20% more original ideas and more creative ideas. And they've taken other groups of people. I'm not sure why they picked engineers, but they took other groups and other jobs, still the same thing. They come up with more solutions. And they've looked at and talked to psychologists that it's because when you're looking through that one tunnel thought process, as opposed to observing all the people around you and having that peripheral vision, that it broadens your creativity and it broadens your solutions for the problem. When we talk about the team building, and there are other reasons, not just being with other people, but collaborating, that on screen has a significant drawback, and that is that hinders collaboration. So when you talk about going out to meet people, and I think it's funny, this pertains to PLRB. So did you go to PLRB in San Antonio? Amazing. It was the first PLRB after COVID. And as a salesperson, I'll send out 10 invitations. Do you want to meet at 4:30? Maybe one comes back, yes. Not, I move to the next 10. Sent out 10 invitations, 8 said, oh yeah, well, I'll meet you at 4:30. That tells you that people were ready to go back and meet. Now just think about PLRB and any other conference you go to. Why do you go? Well, you need CE hours, but you also go to see people in your industry. You want to catch up with them. You want to know what they've been doing. You want to know, you have this terrible problem that none of your employees want to come back to the office to work. Oh, you have that problem too. Oh, well, what are you doing about it? You want to see people in person. You want to talk to them. You want to get to know them. You build those relationships that later in life, and you continue them. How could you do that virtually? I know that virtually is the new way to date. Virtually everything's online, but really it just doesn't take the place of that human contact. So what I would think to ask that you do is go back to at least promoting the virtual learning as well, and kind of do a hybrid mix. Let people work from home, but still somewhere in there, you need to get that back to face and back to meeting people and back to, like Troy said, the room, the warm and fuzzy room with the chairs and all of those things, because it is a proven fact. Even workers that were all working behind those padded, carpeted cubicles and not able to talk to each other, they kind of, right before COVID, started kind of getting all of those out of the way. So now it's time to return back to the brick building, to see your management, for the management to see you, for you to help train those younger people coming up. I mean, there are people out there literally that have just worked virtual. They've not known any other way. And they don't get together with their company. They don't get together with their teams. They don't get together with their customers. So I would encourage you to do at least a mix or hybrid of what we have now. And even though when I've talked about this, it's not popular, people are like, nope, don't mess that up for me. I want to continue to work from home. But if they only saw the importance, and that's because they don't know any different, they don't know any better. So I hope you get that some thought and think about how much better it would be. Think about really the pluses that come along with it, not just the negatives. And so I hope this will get you to thinking about it. Also, if you see me or any of my coworkers over here, please come up and shake my hand. I'm all about the person-to-person, face-to-face meeting, and I think you could never put more value on anything that we bring to the table and teach to other people. Thank you for your time today, and I hope to see you and get some face-to-face time with you.